Have you noticed how we are always running? Running after goals, running after recognition, running to avoid discomfort. But the most exhausting race isn't against time. It's against ourselves. We run from silence. We run from the thoughts that keep us awake at night. We run from the feelings we can't quite put into words, and we convince ourselves that if we stay busy enough, we won't have to deal with them. But here's the truth no one likes to admit. The more you run from yourself, the more you lose yourself. I used to think the silence was dangerous, that if I stopped, even for a moment, my mind would eat me alive. I filled every second with noise, music in the background, social media on my phone, another episode, another scroll, another distraction. Because I thought, if I stayed still, I would have to face something I wasn't ready to face. But stillness isn't the enemy. It's the mirror. And maybe that's why we avoid it, because we're afraid of what it might show us. Imagine this. You walk into a dark room. There's a mirror in the center, but you can't see your reflection yet, because you haven't turned on the light. You know, the moment you flip the switch, there's no going back. You'll have to look at yourself, not the version you post online, not the one you show your friends, but you. Raw, unedited, honest. That's what stillness does. It turns the light on. And it's terrifying, but it's also the beginning of freedom. The truth is, you can't outrun yourself forever. And every day you try, you're only making the reunion harder. Sooner or later, life will corner you in an empty room, with no phone, no distractions, just you and the person you've been avoiding. And when that day comes, you'll have two choices: keep running, or finally, turn around. We live in an age where silence is rare. And when it does appear, it feels uncomfortable. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions, than your own soul." But here's the irony. Our souls are the last place we visit. We scroll through the lives of strangers for hours, but never spend 10 minutes exploring our own thoughts. We chase experiences, possessions, achievements, but the one thing we avoid is ourselves. Why? Because deep down, we know that in the quiet, we'll hear the truths we've been hiding from. Truths like, you're not happy in the life you've built. You're carrying resentment that's been eating you for years. You've been living more for the approval of others than for your own values. These are not comfortable truths, but they are the ones that set us free. I remember the first time I truly stopped running. No music, no phone, just me, sitting alone in my apartment. At first, it felt unbearable. The urge to check my notifications was almost physical, like a withdrawal. My mind threw every distraction at me. What's for dinner? Should I clean the kitchen? Maybe I should just watch one episode, just to relax. But after an hour, the noise started to fade, and beneath it, there was something else. A voice. Quiet, but steady. Not telling me what to do next, not criticizing me, just being there. And I realized I had been lonely for years. Not because of other people, but because I had abandoned myself. Psychologists have a term for this: avoidance coping. It's when we distract ourselves from pain instead of addressing it. It works in the short term, but it costs us more than we realize, because what we avoid grows stronger. Every emotion we refuse to face, every truth we refuse to name, doesn't disappear. It waits. And when it finally catches up to us, it hits harder than it ever needed to. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. The discomfort you feel when you're alone with your thoughts isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is ready to be healed. You don't have to do it all at once. The Stoics didn't. The Buddhists didn't. No one ever did. You begin, one breath at a time. One moment of stillness at a time. And with each moment, you stop running. Just a little bit more. Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a long hallway. At the far end, there's a door. Behind it, everything you've been avoiding, the arguments you never resolved, the mistakes you've buried, the decisions you regret but never admitted. And every day you take a few steps toward that door. But then something distracts you. Work, social media, someone else's crisis. And so you turn away, convincing yourself you'll deal with it later. But here's the truth: you already know that later never comes. The Stoics would tell you, you cannot control the door. You cannot erase what's behind it. But you can choose when you open it, and the longer you wait, the heavier it gets. We've been sold the lie that healing happens by accident, that one day we'll just wake up and feel better. It doesn't work like that. Growth is not a side effect of time passing. It's the result of what you do inside that time. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. When you finally face the thing you've been avoiding, it's rarely as bad as the endless anticipation. It's the waiting, the constant looking over your shoulder, that truly exhausts you. I've seen this in therapy sessions. A client spends years avoiding one conversation, convinced it will destroy them. And then, one day, they have it. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, there are tears. Yes, there is loss. But the relief they feel afterward is like finally setting down a weight they forgot they were carrying. You might be thinking, okay, but how do I even start? And here's the answer no one likes. You don't wait until you feel ready. You start while your hands are still shaking. Facing yourself isn't a one-time event, it's a practice. Like brushing your teeth, like tending a garden. You don't wait for the weeds to take over before you act. You tend to them a little every day. I want you to try something. Tonight, before bed, sit somewhere without your phone. Don't play music. Don't light candles to make it special. Just sit. Close your eyes. And ask yourself one question: what am I pretending not to know? Then listen. Really listen. You might not like the answer, but that's the point, because the moment you stop lying to yourself, you stop running. Here's the thing most people don't realize. You can't outrun yourself. You can change your city. You can change your job. You can even change the people around you. But everywhere you go, you take yourself with you. And if you keep avoiding the work, you're not escaping the pain. You're just carrying it into every new chapter, like a suitcase you never unpack. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength isn't built by never falling. It's built by walking back into the arena after you've been knocked down." The problem is, most people never even step back in. They stay outside the fight. They convince themselves they're protecting their peace when really, they're just hiding. And here's the tragedy. The life you want is on the other side of the fight you're avoiding. That difficult conversation. That's where respect is rebuilt. That scary decision. That's where growth lives. That quiet moment with yourself. That's where peace is waiting. You keep waiting for the right time, the right mood, the perfect plan. But the right time is never coming, because the right time isn't something you find. It's something you create the moment you decide. I'll tell you something I wish I'd learned earlier. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means go carefully. Fear means this matters. Think of the moments you're proudest of. Were they the easy ones? The safe ones? The moments where you stayed comfortable? No, they were the moments you risked something. The moments your voice shook but you spoke anyway. The moments you could have walked away but you stayed. The Stoics understood this. They trained for discomfort. They practiced imagining loss, not to make themselves miserable, but to remind themselves that they could endure it. Here's a practice for you. For the next week, do one thing every day that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Speak up in the meeting. Apologize first. Turn your phone off for an entire evening. Not because discomfort is the goal, but because courage is a muscle. And if you don't train it, it gets weak. Soon, the silence won't scare you anymore. The stillness will feel like home, and you'll realize you were never running from the world, that you were running from yourself. But once you stop running, you don't just find peace. You find power, because now nothing owns you. Not fear, not the past, not even the unknown future. You own yourself. I want you to imagine this. It's late at night. You're alone in your room. The noise of the day is gone. No emails, no phone calls. No one asking for your time. It's just you, and that's when it hits. That quiet voice you've been drowning out. It says, this isn't who you wanted to be. It's not yelling, it's not angry. It's just true, and you feel it. You think about the promises you've made to yourself, the ones you've broken, the chances you didn't take. And suddenly, you realize the person you've been avoiding is sitting right there in front of you. This is the fork in the road most people don't even know they're standing at. You can either grab your phone, scroll until you're numb, and push that voice down for one more night. Or you can put the phone away and listen, and listening is terrifying. Because when you really hear yourself, you can't unhear it. It's a call to action, a demand for change, a reminder that time isn't pausing for you to figure things out. The Stoics had a word for this, memento mori. Remember, you will die. Not to depress you, but to focus you, because the truth is, you don't have as much time as you think. And the question isn't, how much time do I have? The real question is, how much of myself am I willing to waste? So here's my challenge for you. Tonight, when the noise fades, don't run. Don't fill the silence. Don't hide behind distraction. Sit with yourself. Even if it's uncomfortable. Especially if it's uncomfortable. Look your fear in the eyes. Ask it what it's trying to protect you from. And then, thank it. Because fear is just a bodyguard for your deepest values. Then take one small step. Send the message, open the book, start the workout. Write the plan. Whatever it is, don't wait until you're ready. Because the truth is, readiness isn't something you feel first. It's something you become after you start. One day, you'll look back on this moment and you'll see it for what it was, the day you stopped running. And when that happens, you won't just feel at peace. You'll feel unstoppable. Because once you face yourself, you can face anything. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you were truly alone, without music, without a podcast, without your phone in your hand? Not alone in the sense of being away from people. I mean alone with your own thoughts. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? That restlessness, that itch to do something. That's not boredom. That's avoidance. See, we've been conditioned to treat stillness like an enemy. We think if we're not moving, we're falling behind. If we're not producing, we're wasting time. But what if stillness is where the real work happens? What if the answers you've been chasing are sitting quietly in the very moments you've been running from? The Stoics called this the inner citadel, a place within yourself that no chaos can touch. But here's the thing, you can't reach it if you never stop to enter. So I'll challenge you right now, before this video ends, decide, will you keep living on autopilot? Or will you finally give yourself the gift of silence? Because if you do, you might discover that the life you've been chasing has been waiting for you to stop. I know this might sound dramatic. I know life is busy. I know you have responsibilities, deadlines, people counting on you. But here's the truth. None of that matters if you never learn to face yourself. Because you can build the career. You can have the house, the car, the status. But if you're still at war with the person in the mirror, you'll never feel peace. So tonight, just 10 minutes, turn everything off, sit down, and breathe. Don't try to control your thoughts. Don't try to empty your mind. Just watch what comes up. And when it feels heavy, when you want to get up, stay. That's where the breakthrough happens. Remember, The discomfort you feel in stillness is the doorway to freedom. Walk through it. You've been running long enough. It's time to come home to yourself. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a quiet road. No cars, no noise. Just the sound of the wind brushing against your skin. Far ahead, the road disappears into a horizon painted gold by the evening sun. And for the first time, there's no rush to get anywhere. You realize you've been sprinting your whole life, from one milestone to the next, one distraction to another, as if the finish line could give you something the journey couldn't. But right now, in this stillness, you see it. You were never running towards something. You were running away. Away from the thoughts that scared you. Away from the questions that had no easy answers. Away from the quiet voice inside you that kept asking, is this really how you want to live? And here's the thing about running. No matter how far you go, you always take yourself with you. But standing there on that road, with the sun kissing the earth and the shadows stretching long, you feel something you haven't felt in years. Peace. Because you're not chasing anymore. You're not fleeing. You're simply here. The world is still moving. Time is still passing. But for this moment, you've stepped out of the current. And in that pause, you remember who you are. You realize that home was never a place. It was this acceptance, this breath, this willingness to sit with yourself without judgment, without running. So, when you go back into the noise, because you will carry this stillness with you, let it be your anchor when life pulls you in every direction. Let it be the voice that reminds you, you've been running long enough. It's time to come home.